Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Max's Fearless Youth podcast, an offshoot of the Max's Kansas City, which is a legendary New York club, restaurant, and bar. And this podcast uses the power of the arts to reduce the risk of substance abuse and suicide by empowering young people to express themselves in positive, life-affirming ways. So I'm Sebastian and a local
Mhm.
filmmaker, and my co-host is.
Liam Girardi. I am also a filmmaker and YouTuber.
And with us today is actually a friend of mine who I met in the halls of SUNY Ulster, Angel Brown, who works for a Draw, and as well as she seeks to have a career where she uses the arts to help kids express themselves and also use it as a way to, kind of a daycare thing. So here is Angel Brown. Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
Sebastian.
What's up?
I'm doing well. I woke up this morning. I still got air in my lungs. I'm
You're
up and
alive.
ready to go. We're alive today.
There we go. We're sitting
And
here.
today is like a beautiful day. It was raining a lot
Oh
yesterday,
yeah.
and happily this is like a nice cool day. It's still a little cloudy, but it's still a good day no matter
Yeah,
what.
Kingston's being good to us today with
hmm
the cool down. You're a Kingston native.
Hmm.
I'm a Kingston native. So if you could just talk about your upbringing, what the family like was like with the arts, if it's been a supportive one for you, and how the arts has kind of brought you up and got you through some things.
Yes, definitely. I had a very supportive family, and definitely when I was feeling down, they're like, "Don't you dare give up. You should still go, keep going, because every time when you mess up, it's always something you can always look back to in a way, and
Mm.
also you can get better at it each day. So like failure is a key to success.
Yeah,
And the more you fail, the more you're going to get better at that thing that you failed. And the more progress you see each time, even if it's like a little smidge, it's like a whole big thing that you just done. And it's just an amazing thing. But other than that, yes, I've been hearing that a lot with my family. And I definitely did have a couple of things going on when I was very younger.
Mhm.
Because when I was very young, oh man, yeah, when I was like really little, like in preschool, I always had trouble doing a lot of reading and writing. Those are my two
Yeah.
big things. And the worst thing of all is that I was very shy. I was a very shy gal.
Hmm.
So it was really hard for me to get into the groove of my own people. I was always on the sidelines, and I did talk when people wanted to talk to me or when I was told to speak. But when I also did, I didn't find my own voice. I was like, man, I wish I said something cooler. I wish I said something that was more me in a way. So it took many years to really get where I am today. It took a long time. Definitely, when I was at that age, I was into drawing a lot and coloring. Definitely, when you get that coloring book and pencil, you just do your own little thing. And every time when it was that time to just like have arts and crafts time, that small little desk I have, like that was my sanctuary. That was
Sure.
my place to do my own thing. And the more I did that, the more I realized I loved creating when I was in like fourth grade. We always had these centers, if I remember, every Friday. And there was always a reading center, a computer center, and the drawing center. And you already know I wanted to go in that drawing center so much. But if we had to like take turns, I was always sometimes in the computer. I try to really avoid the reading one because I really didn't
Yeah.
like reading, but we had to do what we had to do. But I definitely learned in that year that I loved doing a lot of creative things and a lot of things I with my hand and pieces of paper, colored pencil, like anything I could get my hands on to do something with that blank piece of paper. Um, when I was in middle school, I tried to expand my knowledge of learning. I learned, ooh, excuse me. I learned a lot in my middle school year when I was doing a couple art classes. They taught me like the color theory, color schemes, learning different materials like acrylic, oil pastel. It was definitely a place that I felt more comfortable than my other classes. And that was actually my new sanctuary. Instead of that small desk, it was like a whole table of creative materials. Definitely from that time of middle school, I learned more and more about that I loved visuals as well. Since in middle school, I still had a little problem with me having reading and writing, reading and writing. And I was also in small classes because of that. And I still thank my teachers today. I don't see them anymore, but I still thank
Yeah.
them of helping me with my struggles that I really had. And I really, I feel so blessed to have them in my life. Because of them, I am here today, and I definitely do have a better reading level now. It took
Yeah.
ever since like seventh grade, I got into reading. Me and my mom, we went to the library because she really wanted me to get into reading that year.
Yeah.
And so we went to the library and it took like 10 to 15 minutes to find something that I really wanted to read. She was like, "What about this one? What about that one?" Uh, until I saw a comic graphic novel called Fruit Basket. And that was my first ever book I actually read until the end. I was like, "Can I get another book of this? When's the next volume?" And that's when I really learned that I wanted to read. And it had the visuals, it had some words, not many words to get stressed over, but it was still something I can still sound out and figure out like what this word is. And that's when I really learned like comic graphic novels, like all the pictures, the visuals, the action scenes, the black and white pages. It was that time that I really loved things like that. And so when I was still in my middle school year, I tried to get into things like that, like anime and
Mhm.
comic design.
Yeah.
I even I wonder if my teachers still have the pictures. I used to draw them. I'd be like, "Hey, I have this. I did this for you." It's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I will keep this." And it was always on their wall or desk. And I wonder if they still have it today, probably somewhere deep down in their files. They're probably retired now.
Maybe.
It's probably
Yeah.
deep, deep in those files. Um, there was definitely since preschool to middle school, I learned my ability that I love to be creative with my hands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was also another way to express myself as well, since I was still a little shy at the time. And doing things with paper and pencil, and lots of color, lots of ways to do this and that. That was like a way to really
Yeah.
express myself without saying too many words, but just enough to be like, "This is me. This is what I like to do." And hopefully, when you see this, you see what I'm trying to say without me explaining it too much.
Yeah.
So besides your family who supported you, did you have like a community of like friends that also supported you growing up?
Yeah, and that was like very little. I think when I was in like fourth grade, I made like one really close friend. And we were there, we were in the same classes since fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade until high school. That's when we like really didn't see each other because we went to different high schools or we went into different classes. Um, actually, I had two close friends, but those were the only friends I had.
Hmm.
Sadly, I didn't have any play dates with them a lot, but there was a still time in school that I always hung out with them and we always had our laughs.
Hmm.
It was a very wonderful time that I will never forget. Um, let me see. I did also have like a little group of, yeah, it was always a little group of friends that I had, and those were the specific ones that I had since middle school. I feel like when I went to high school, that's when I really wanted to try and make my own group of friends and find like, do I want to be with this person? That group kind of looks like they're in too much drama. I'm gonna go to this
Yeah.
little section. And it's just like a hard thing to explain, finding your own people. It's just like in a way, like you see that spark or you have that little connection that you never knew, but it was something that you guys like will have forever, and you guys are still hanging out time to time.
And I feel like that positive energy kind of comes through your artistic representation. You're helping kids. Kids are very pure. Like they just like they want to be nice and you're teaching them how to like, express themselves through this art. I wanted to know, like what is the game what are you hoping for these kids to take away at the end of the day from your service, from like having them at this daycare constantly doing art? What is that takeaway?
I just wish for the kids to like embrace that kindness and hopefully that impacts someone else's life. Because when I'm nice to other people, I hope that they be nice to other ones as well. Because there's just so much hate in this world all the time. It's just like you sometimes just need a kind, smiling face, and that's all you really need sometimes. And I just hope that like what I learn and teach those kids, they can take that in their lives and hopefully they can also inspire other people as well of what I do, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. Perfect sense.
Mhm. I know earlier you said you liked graphic novels growing up.
Yeah.
Would you ever make one for kids to read?
Yes, I would love, I was actually thinking about that. I would love to make my own books for the young youth and possibly for young teenagers as well. So when I make a book, they can actually feel like, "Oh my gosh, that's how I feel right
Mhm.
now. That's
Yeah.
I can actually relate to this."
Mhm.
I actually have a few pieces I can show later that there's like I make some things that look like illustrations from a book itself. There are some times I sometimes like write what I want to that I want to possibly put in a book. So maybe I want to put this setting down or put these kids in that kind of sections. It's like it's I know it kind of I don't know if this is making sense, but it's kind of like puzzle pieces I will possibly put together later if I ever want to make a book. So if I looked at my own notebooks, I'd be like, oh yeah, I put that there. Maybe I can put that in a book. And that can be also relatable to other kids that's going through something like that or ha something that happened like that in their lives.
Yeah.
That you mentioned them. Could we see one of those pieces?
Yeah, of
I would
course.
be so down to see one.
So I actually this is my favorite one.
Get that.
This is my favorite art piece that I did. So this was actually a piece that I've made my second year of SUNY Ulster, and this was actually a project that we had to have a vegetable or a flower that we wanted to make. This was for the Hudson Valley Seed Company, so we had to pick a seed
Mhm.
and we had to pick a vegetable or a plant, and I chose the Jacoya beets, and it's basically a beet that looks like a candy cane to the inside. And that gave me a lot of inspiration. I was like, wait, who's the animal who loves stealing from someone else's garden? And I thought of Peter Rabbit.
Yeah, we're
And it
big
was,
Peter Rabbit fans,
Yeah.
by the way. Big Peter Rabbit
yes,
fans.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
Peter.
Peter Rabbit fans
I
for
mean,
life.
I want to know, like, what is this major step you're gonna take to start like showing the world your art?
Definitely, I want to try to get more into social media.
Yeah.
I've been so busy. I've been caught up with so much stuff, and I feel like that's such an old excuse, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
just really hard to find time to like do what I want to like really show the world. I definitely have been taking pictures when that time does come, I want to like post everything that I do, everything that I've done. And hopefully that inspires someone out there that'll be like, wow, that is so amazing. That's so cool. And it's just also just inspires someone to do something similar or like inspires them that I should also bring my art piece out there.
Yeah. Like
hmm
one sentence. What does this art thing really mean to you? Like besides the career thing, like personally, what does it mean to you?
It's really showing my way of expressing myself. It's showing me in a way that's even showing like little cartoons. That's me. It's not physically me, but it's me in the pieces. It's like almost like Easter eggs. Definitely expressing myself and showing how I've overcome so many things. And it's just, it's such a blessing how far I made it. Like sometimes you got to reflect on where you were many years ago and how you are now.
To finish off, I just think that everything you've said about like just expressing yourself lines up with Max's perfectly. And I
Mhm.
really thank you for coming on here. And this has been Angel Brown and Drawathons tomorrow. Check out Draw.
Mhm.
And we're waiting to see more stuff from you, Angel. Thank you.
Thank you.